Welcome to the Salt Stands Alone podcast. My name is Hank. I stand alone. I'm here by myself, no one else with me. And we're going to talk about Magic the Gathering again. And we're going to talk about, this time, instead of looking back, I'm going to be looking forward a little bit more. The Magic I'm excited to play in 2026. We'll start with Artisan Gladiator. That's what we'll start with, because that's kind of the Magic I'm in an async league currently that has played 1 week. So competitive-wise, that's where my heart is, even if my eyes are wandering towards the future. And Artisan Gladiator's been fantastic. As soon as the event got posted, I posted like 8 deck lists to help people get started with their brewing, and people have brewed. I think most of those 8 deck lists I played are pretty bad into the meta where people got to pretty quickly with other people brewing, and people focusing up more on one deck or whatever it was, just being better brewers than me, being able to build on other stuff. And the big standout at first was aristocrats. Couldn't find the word. The aristocrats decks, there was a lot of in LFG to start out with, and those decks were good at murdering you and really hard to play around. Like, they just with the resources that you had, it was tough. It continues to be tough. Those decks are they're just freaking good. Say what you will. But I will say, seeing the final deck lists of the Async League and what people actually registered, it was much less aristocrats than I was afraid of. When we were playing in LFG, you were getting aristocrats. If you were playing aristocrats, you were seeing aristocrats mirrors at first. But there is variety there. Some of that is, people bring decks to the league that they tested less. They didn't play as much in the LFG. LFG meta is, as always, its own thing. And there were only 4 aristocrats decks that showed up out of 26 decks. 26 people registered for the event, and I also kind of cataloged the whole thing, and I posted on Moxfield the list of a package of all the cards that were registered to the event that showed up in at least 5 decks, and the aristocrats cards don't show up because they were only in 4. Stuff like, Lorien revealed Swords to Plowshares, or Top of the Heap. Red cards also very popular. Hey, have you heard about this card, Lightning Bolt? It's pretty good. Brainstorm, Counterspell, Stock Up. These are all. The thing that was really underrepresented in this league are green decks. Only 2 green cards showed up in at least 5 decks, which is a very low number. Now, those cards are Wary Zone Guard and Generous Ent, which are both bangers. Wary Zone Guard is an absurd card. So I think it's just telling that people were not on green in large numbers. Because your mana dorks are not that good if what you're ramping into is not that powerful. I think is the thinking. It also could be that some of the green decks didn't have as much cohesion. Again, like the thing that you would play in green, the first starting point of the thing you would think would be overpowered would be mana dorks, and mana dorks maybe just not as useful. Not really the thing you want to be doing, or the thing that it got people excited. I don't know. I did play against. So my first round opponent, I did win. I was playing this artifact deck that was sick. They drew so many cards off of with different artifacts stuck. I was very, very impressed because I'm playing. Actually, I should talk about my deck. I'm playing Bluesky Shrines. And how I landed on that was that I wanted to I started with Bluesky because I'm like, we have Brainstorm, we have Counterspell, we have Lightning Bolt, we have Swords to Plowshares. Like, a lot of the cards you would play in a normal Bluesky deck, in terms of removal and just churning through your deck, we have all that stuff. The thing we don't have are the draw engines that then give you the card advantage to win the attrition war. Like, we don't have Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. We don't have Shadow of the Second Sun. It's kind of the way I like to play Bluesky and Gladiator all the time is those decks that then you want to establish a card like Palantir that gives you card advantage over time. So you're drawing 2 cards a turn to your opponent's 1, and you're playing very good 1-for-1 removal. And you just eventually win. Now, that strategy has definitely gotten worse in current Gladiator, with some of the threats being so absurd that they can just kill you. But it's still a pretty good strategy on average. So the thing was to find card advantage cards or engine cards. Where are engines in Uncommon? And the one that stood out to me that I was like, oh, that's just good as an Uncommon is Honden of Seeing Winds, which is a 5-mana shrine, and at the beginning of the upkeep you draw a card for each shrine you control. And even as 5 mana, draw an extra card every turn, that's just good in this format. Where the better versions of that effect you just wouldn't play. So then I was like, what if I just play the Bluesky shrines? I just play all the shrines that are blue, red, and white. That's what I did. I had also tried to build 5-color shrines and kind of gave up on it. Like, your mana with only commons and uncommons for lands is really bad. It's just really bad. So I wasn't happy with where the deck looked at that point. I'm much more happier playing because even 3-color, I'm like, is like a stretch. I'm playing a lot of dubious lands. Like, I'm playing all the comes into play either Scries or Surveils, taps for colorless, but you can tap 1 colorless mana and tap it to add a mana of any color. Like, I'm playing all of those, partially because I want the card selection, and I need the fixing. It's both. But if you're playing those in like a 5-color deck, then it's basically like all your spells cost an extra mana. And then like the math starts to not be so good on your deck. And like the shrines in the other colors are good. The black shrines I would love to have because they're like gain life anything that's gain life every turn is really good in this format because you're fighting against aristocrat stuff. But you know, having spot removal and some small amount of pyroclasms, like fire magic, and also playing stuff like Talarian Terror. That was also where I started, was on as a Jeskai Terror deck from Pauper, playing all the cards that get like an Eddie Merc Crab and I forget the name of the serpent because I cut it from my list. But those kind of cards that are just big dorks that are, once your graveyard's full, they're gonna cost 1 or 2 mana. So you can still hold up your counter magic and stuff. Still play your other stuff. You're not committing to a thing that's just gonna get sword splash errors or whatever. Yeah, you know, I've only played 1 round, so I could lose the rest of my rounds and feel a fool or whatever. But I'm feeling pretty good about the deck. It was definitely like, I beat my opponent's deck. My opponent's deck was doing powerful stuff, like drawing 7 cards at once in one game off an artifact. Like there was definitely, we were keeping even with the card advantage. They were fun games. Because the games that I'm always bummed about is like when I just die on turn 3 and I don't get to do the thing, right? Like if you go I always feel better about my chances in a long game, whether I win or lose. Like maybe I screw up and still lose or whatever, but I got to play Magic. And it gets to be toolboxy with because you get to play Enlightened Tutor and Mystical Tutor, 4 shrines. Enlightened Tutor for whatever shrine you need at the moment is pretty fucking sick. Pretty sick. That new red one, Crescent Island Temple, that gives you prowess 1/1s, that's in red, also really makes up for you not having the green shrines, because the green shrines normally would be the ones that give you stuff. And there's also the white one that's a creature. Goshentai of Shared Purpose is another one that gives you 1/1s for your shrines. So you do have go wide stuff to combat your opponent's go wide stuff with token stuff, which is important. Yeah. So that's been fun. And it's been cool to see people excited about that format. And some people, like, even though the league started, so people aren't testing for the league anymore, there are still people who are just wanted to jam it in LFG. It's gone down a bit. People are starting to go back to regular Gladiator. But when it got announced, it was all Artisan Gladiator. That was all people were playing. Which is cool. You know, I don't know that the community's big enough to support 2 LFGs, but I think that would be sick if Artisan could support itself as its own thing. But as a thing to investigate, sometimes it's super sick, and it's much easier to get a deck together because you don't have to have any rares or mythics. If you're invested, the big thing is you still have to be invested in Arena as a platform of playing Magic to have wild cards. Like if you go in cold, it's still fucking hard to get enough uncommons and commons to get one of these decks together. But if you're invested in Arena, this is a good singleton format to then have a deck in that you can play sometimes. for fun, which is like one of the I think a big idea selling point on a big pitch argument on a lot of singleton formats is, hey, this thing is fun. You could play it for fun sometimes, and that's a much easier sell when the cost of the deck is lower. The difficulty of getting to have the cards or whatever. Obviously, playing on Tabletop Simulator or whatever, Cockatrice, all proxy all the time is even better, but in terms of price. But I like having a game that manages the rules for me. Also, so arena things. That's been fun. And it's fun because it's also like it's still been powerful. Like the stuff that's happening in games is still like nuts. So I'm having a lot of fun. It hasn't felt like obviously your top end of the strongest creatures is gone and stuff, but there's still very strong engines to be made. Fun, powerful magic to happen. And it's different magic than I'm playing when I'm messing with Pioneer Highlander or Pyolander. What was the name someone said? Trailblazer, I think, is the name people like, but nobody uses except to say that they like that name more. It's within the community. It's much more Pyolander is the way it's being referred to. Even though that name's terrible, but what are you gonna do? And that's even smaller currently. Like that's I don't like I think there's less Pyolander being played than Artisan Gladiator currently. It might seem differently, but because Pyolander has a content creator behind it, but that format still needs its own Discord, and I know Wheeler's mods are working on it behind the scenes, so it's probably in the works, and so it's kind of a holding pattern thing for that format to have its own Discord, to be its own community and not like hidden within Wheeler's Discord. Yeah, that one's still smaller, but its potential for growth, it does seem bigger. I don't remember how much I talked about my Highlander deck, my 5 combo humans deck that I love, but I haven't been playing too much of it recently. And that deck's not really going to get anything from Lorwyn Eclipse, so that's kind of a bummer. No humans in Lorwyn. For once. For the first time since Lorwyn, we're getting a set with no humans. Yeah. But as for Lorwyn Eclipsed, honestly, for Gladiator, the card that we're getting that I'm the most excited to brew with is not a Lorwyn Eclipse card. It's on the special guest sheet, and it's Painter Servant. Because we already have Grindstone on Arena, so Painter Servant combo is on the menu as a thing you can do in the format. A new 2-card combo. We're also getting Devoted Druid. So Devoted Druid combo is also on the table. But the thing with Devoted Druid combo in Gladiator is you actually don't play, like, the decks that exist currently don't actually have a great way to consistently use infinite mana. Like, there are mana sinks where it's good, but it's very conceivable to me that you would assemble the two combo pieces, and then not have the third, the mana sink, to do anything with your infinite mana. And you certainly not enough, and certainly not to win immediately. Like, even the stuff that we do play that could do it, would just be very powerful, but it wouldn't be instant game winning. The way when you activate Grindstone and Painter Servants in play, you just win. Or the way you Tainted Pact, Thassa's Oracle works. The best combos in the format. And Painter Servant Grindstone is just immensely tutorable. Like, you're such good tutor options for those cards. Delivery Moogle stocks going way up. I'm gonna play so much Delivery Moogle. But Breaklight Scarehulk finds Grindstone. All your creature tutors can get the Painter Servant. It's just like the potential seems very good. I'm excited to deck build and test to figure out where it's good. Like, it's definitely going to be the best for the artifact decks. It might make the artifact decks actually a thing I consistently want to play, which has not been true up till now. As much as I love artifacts, the Gladiator artifact decks just have always been a step off of where I want to be. But also I could see it, just going in Brightlight Scarehulk decks, which are exactly where I want to be in Gladiator currently. So that's exciting. But maybe it'll be a different version of Brightlight Sky decks than the one I've currently been jamming. The 4-color no red for toolboxy version. Maybe Painter Servant and Grindstone suck too much as individual cards for that deck to want it. We'll see. I'm excited is the important thing. I look forward to deck building. The rest of Lorwyn equips, let me think. So there's some goblins that I want to put in goblins, but they're not like super exciting. I do think it's important. They're a handful. I don't know. Most of the goblins are bad, but there are some that are less than 3 mana, which is what that deck desperately needs, is more cards that are not 3 mana. As with all decks, where are my good 2 and 1 drops? That's how my deck gets good. Partly why I'm like, my head has kind of been in the pie with the blue decks, because we have so many cantrips now. We actually have really good cantrip density, but I still haven't quite had the success with those decks, those cantrip decks that I would want. I don't know that I have a follow up to that. I just haven't won enough with them when I've tested them. I don't know though. I'm building them wrong. I'm playing wrong. I don't know. It's a little off. And it's just that thing of like, what if we just had a creature in play? What if you just started attacking and then your opponent died? Like, sure, getting card selection is good, but what if you just fucking killed them? You ever hear that? What if you just go and fucking kill your opponent? Anybody ever had that idea before? Anyway, But yeah, Lorman Eclipse. It's mostly art. It's mostly art that I'm excited about. Um, they brought back so many classic Magic artists to do cards in this set. It's so fucking hype. Uh, we're getting fucking Richard Kane Ferguson cards at common. Like hell yeah. Um, so that's cool. But power level wise, for these singleton formats, I don't know. Yeah, it's like this is a. It looks like a standard set. I won't. I'm pretty bad at predicting this stuff anyway. I think you learn so like the thing with trying to predict how strong a card is. It's interesting because I feel like I learn infinitely more about how good a card is seeing it in play once than looking at it and thinking about it. Like learn really quickly, I feel like, what cards are good when you get to experience them in a game. I learn so much more from playing than I do from theory crafting personally. So it makes my deck building in a vacuum, like my Artisan Gladiator decks that I built in a vacuum. Like building in a vacuum is hard, and also those decks weren't as good because as soon as I got data on them, I'm like, oh, this isn't good enough. Immediately, I'm like, oh, okay. This strategy is not the thing. This other thing is just so much better. But then you get to build off that and say, well, if this is what's good, maybe this is good enough. That kind of thing. It's clarifying. Whereas when I was building those first decks, I'm just like, what's a color pair? Okay, what's an idea I could try and build around? Okay, let's just do it. Whether it's good or not was kind of irrelevant initially because you just need stuff, right? You just want to, and it's about familiarizing yourself with the card pool. Because when you're deck building in a vacuum, you don't know all the cards that are in that format, and at some level, you just need to get in there with the muck so you can learn, so you have like a list to reference. It's one of the reasons I like doing these compiling lists of like what are the cards people play, what are the staples, right? Like I don't like the staples thing because then you're saying the downside is you're sending a message like these are the cards you have to play or whatever. Like these no. But it's very useful these are cards that are good enough that people are playing, that are good enough to succeed. Are these cards? These cards work, and if you're looking at other cards for what could work or what could be good, they exist in this space with these other cards, next to these other cards or whatever. So, like, when you have Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt, do you want to be on Shock? Maybe. But, we've got a lot of 3 damage. If you have a lot of 3 damage cards, maybe you don't want the 2 damage card. That example's not the best, but it's a simple math one. If your format's full of 2 mana 3/3s, are the 2 mana 1/1s good enough? Whatever. When we have all the 1 mana dorks, the 2 mana dorks you're playing better be fucking good. Or whatever. Or whatever it is, I think it's a decent shorthand to help you get to speed better on what's in the format. And like it's kind of the same idea as just looking at deck lists. Because like a lot of what I'm doing when I'm looking at deck lists is, A, I'm looking for something that looks fun that maybe I want to try my hand at. Or B, it's also just like what are the cards people are playing? What are the good cards? Like that's such a good shorthand for it's so often that like how do people know what alchemy cards are good? Well, what alchemy cards have they seen other people play? Like what do you play against and you go, "Oh, well that's fucking good." I had that happen the other day with someone with a card that I thought just everybody like. To me, it's a card. It's an alchemy card that's just, been in the format for a long time, and I've played against and with a lot. And my opponent was like, "Wow, I'd never seen that card before." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fucking good." It's a Simic card that is X, a blue and a green. And for X, you conjure a random creature of each mana value from 1 to X onto the battlefield under your control. So, if you pay 4 mana, you get a 1/1 and a 2/2. But if you pay 9 mana, you get a 7 mana creature, a 6 mana creature, a 5 mana creature, a 4 mana creature. It's a lot of stuff you get. It's a card that scales very well. Good scaling. It scales up. But also it's a little random. You don't know what you're gonna get. Like life, Life is like randomly conjuring a creature to the battlefield. Is that anything? And on Lorwyn, yeah, there's typo stuff. There is another 2 mana Merfolk Lord. That got me excited. White Merfolk are back on the menu. So maybe Bant Merfolk is worth a build in Gladiator. Again. Worth a look, maybe. That 3 mana one that like saves your board from a board wipe is also pretty alluring. I don't know. I'll definitely give that a perusal at least. And I could. It's one of those things where because I like deck building in the client of Arena, I am kind of just waiting for the set to be out. But I could be deck building on Moxfield with the cards, I guess. I think they're on Moxfield. I should just start doing that. Because I don't really need to wait for the set to be out to build these decks. Like, we have the cards. We know what the cards are. But I just want to play with them, man. Just want to play with them. Content-wise, going forward, I do want to make an Artisan Gladiator video talking about the format. Just because I think that's a thing that people it should exist, and no one else has made it. So that's a hole on the internet. And you know what? Sometimes when you see a hole on the internet, you should fill it. So I have a recording of my first match to go along with that, but I would like to have. I'll probably post it at the end of the Async League. Is my plan. So start working on it in earnest, closer to that being done at the end of the month. Because I would like to know what decks actually performed well and are good. rather than just presenting all the stuff that people brewed up. And I don't know if that's a good instinct or not, but that's how I feel currently. Because I don't. There is a thing in Magic creation, content creation of like, these are all the decks you could play, and then you play something because you think it looks cool, and then immediately you realize, oh, but this is dog. This isn't actually good. This isn't actually playable, and you feel a little bad, and maybe you fall out. That's like also a falling out point. So I don't want to do that, because I feel like in the hunt for saying the cool thing, sometimes you say a thing that's like, you know, a phantom. I don't know. I think about this stuff because I've been there. Because I've done that. But sometimes it's not true. Sometimes you try a thing and then it's fucking real and you have a blast and it's great. You know? Also, like, you know, sometimes things are just out of your control. A deck could have been good when you played it and then the meta shifts or, you know, something happens and then it's not good. That's definitely happened to me where I'm like, this deck's great. It's so good. And then like a week later, I'm like, that deck's just not good anymore. I don't know. It was good. It was good, I swear. Bring back Niv Mizzet Reborn into being playable in Pioneer. Please. One day. Never. No, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Oh. I had another thing. Did I have another thing? I don't know. Yapping about Magic. I think I'm done. Here. So thanks for listening. Peace.